Lucky Day by Shelby and Scout.
I stood by the kitchen window and looked out to the pasture that used to be empty. Mom, our neighbor got a new horse, she yelled. Frilly, grab an apple and go say hi, Mom called back to her.
In half a minute, Claire was standing on the fence, the horse chewing the apple from her palm. The horse was swaybacked and skinny with a rough, scraggly coat, with a lower lip that drooped and slobbered apple gunk on Claire's shoes. Her halter said Destiny. Destiny, huh? That's quite a name for old nag like you.
Claire sat down from the fence and was turning to home when Destiny tossed her head and stamped her hoof. What's the matter with you? Claire asked. Destiny stamped her front leg and nosed the ground next to her hoof.
Claire looked down and spotted the horseshoe. Is that yours? Destiny tossed her head a couple more times. Claire bent under the fence and grabbed the shoe. Sorry you lost this. I'll tell Mom to let your owner know. As she walked back to the house, she flipped the shoe in her hands. An odd sensation prickled in her palms. She hooked the horseshoe in her back pocket and rubbed her hands on her jeans. That weird feeling went away.
Once in her room, she left the horseshoe on a dresser and soon forgot about it. The next morning, when Claire woke up, she noticed the horseshoe. Curious, she picked it up and let it rest in her hands. There was no mistaking the tingly, buzzy feeling. The brief flashes of the pictures flashed in her mind.
Her mom was holding a basket of laundry. Her cat with a mouse in its jaws. Aunt Bev standing at the door with her finger on the doorbell. Claire dropped the horseshoe and the pictures disappeared. That was so creepy. She headed to the kitchen for breakfast, turning the corner into the room. She froze when she saw her cat outside the sliding glass door, chewing at the remains of the mouse.
Honey, yelled her mom as she passed through the room with the laundry basket. Make sure all your clothes are in the hamper. I'm doing laundry today.
Claire's hand started to tremble slightly as she reached for the TV remote and pressed the button for her favorite cartoon, and just as it blinked on, the doorbell rang.
Her mom called, "There she is. Get dressed, sweetie. It's your aunt."
Claire gasped as she ran to her room. What does this mean? She stared at the horseshoe. A moment later, she took a deep breath, picked up the horseshoe, and grasped it firmly with both hands. And I started seeing pictures of what I thought to be the future. I had a vision that something horrible was going to happen. I couldn't figure it out, but it didn't look good. I thought and wondered if I should tell my mother, but I quickly decided not, knowing that it could maybe hurt her or me if I told her. I suddenly dropped the horseshoe without thinking. I picked it up again and looked carefully at what was going to happen. I needed to find out fast before it actually does happen.
I put my horseshoe on my dresser and ran downstairs as fast as I possibly could. Thinking I was going to see something good happen, I was completely wrong. The vision had become true. Then I saw my mother lying on the ground with my aunt and brother crying. I started panicking and screaming. I screamed, "What happened to my aunt? I have no idea. I went to go put pizza in the oven for supper and make some tea for your mom. And when I got back, she was laying here dead," she said between sobs.
Getting frustrated, I ran up to my room and grabbed the horseshoe. I felt myself yelling at it. Why? Why did you do this to me? It's all your fault. Just then, I knew how to get rid of it.
I ran as fast as I could to the nearest lake and threw it as far as I could. As pictures appeared in the lake of my mother and my aunt sitting in the kitchen eating their pizza without me, I started running home as fast as I could.